Welcome back, students. I am Justin. Hope you're all safe and healthy at home. In today's class, I am going to take up two stories about flying. This chapter consists of two stories. First one, his first flight. Second story, the black aeroplane. In today's session, I am going to deal with the first story, that is his first flight, written by Liam O'Flaherty. Before we move on to the lesson, let me brief you about the poet. His first flight, written by Liam O'Flaherty, an Irish novelist and short story writer. He became a popular literary figure with his best selling novel, The Informer, published in 1925. He is remembered as one of the best writers in the Irish literary Renaissance. So, dear students, before I get into the explanation part, I would like to discuss with you the theme of the story. Parents, animals, or birds all love their children. They help them grow, have confidence and courage in themselves to stand on their own feet and face the world boldly. His first flight is a story of hesitation, trial, and error, and finally getting success in the end. It is an interesting story of a hesitant and timid seagull learning the art of flying. His parents, brothers, and sisters all left him alone on the ledge to starve. Now we are going to find out answer for the question, what forced him to learn flying? Let me read the first paragraph for you. The seagull was alone on the ledge, means a narrow horizontal shell projecting from a wall or a cliff. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink, at the extreme edge of the ledge, attempted to flap, means flutter wings. His wings, he became afraid. The great expanse, means spread out of sea, stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. So the young seagull worried that if he let go of the ledge, he would fall down and his wings would not support him. He was scared that he would crash miles down to the ground. All young birds are afraid to make their first flight. Even the students, human babies also, take a few falls before mastering the art of walking. He felt certain that his wings would never support him, so he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So here we find that the young seagull was scared they would, that he would crash miles down to the ground. So it went, he went or ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped, means to move up and down their wings. They moved their wings up and down their wings and flew away. He failed to muster up, means gather courage to take that plunge, to take the risk which appeared to him so desperate, so reckless. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly in a sharp, unpleasant voice, upbraiding, scolding him, threatening him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. So young Seagull was afraid to fly. His brothers, his other brothers and sisters had learned to fly easily, but he thought his wings were too small to fly. His parents encouraged. So if his parents also encouraged him, coaxed him, scolded and taunted him, but he could not muster up courage. He could not gather up courage to fly. So yeah, he tried to get their attention by dozing just near the edge of the ledge, but no one looked at him. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring, a soft finned sea fish, and devour it, standing on a rock, while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle, that is, proud cry. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting, making fun of him with his cowardice. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they took no notice of him. So I already told you, try to get their attention by dozing just near the edge of the ledge, but no one looked at him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening, means making an effort to maintain feathers, the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust, means pushed, advanced forward, now and again. She tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped, means detached, the leftover food, each side of her beak on the rock. So here we try to understand that only his mother was looking at him. She had picked a piece of fish. She was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, and the mother was very near to him with the fish in beak. She is trying to motivate him to learn to fly. The sight of the food maddened him. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet, means to sharpen it. Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Ga, coal, ha. She screamed back derisively in a manner showing someone that she or he is stupid. Derisively means. But he kept calling plaintively, sorrowfully, and after a minute or so he uttered a joyful scream. So here we understand that this suggests that he was so hungry. The sight of the food maddened him. He was so hungry that he forgot his fear of flying and falling and rushed towards the food. In the bargain, he managed to fly. He had not eaten for more than 24 hours. We came to in the previous slides. He had not eaten for more than 24 hours and was so hungry that on seeing his mother right in front of him with a piece of fish in her beak, he swooped towards it and ended up flying. So he cried, begging her to bring him some food. But mother went almost closer to him, but she did not give him any food. She motivated him to learn to fly. Now he is slowly learning to fly. You can see in the image, the mother almost going closer to the young seagull to as if she is going to feed him, but she is not. She is just motivating. Though mother looks harsh here, but she is trying to help him out to teach him how to fly. His mother had picked up a piece of fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. So here you can observe how the young seagull is trying to go closer to mother to get food from the beak, but mother doesn't give. She wants him to learn to fly. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted her wings, motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. You can observe here, almost it is going to reach, mother bird is going to reach, but she is not going to feed him. So he swooped towards it and ended up flying. Now, do you think he is going to fly? He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. Then a monstrous, means frightful terror seized him, and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach, and against his wings. So here we observe that then, though he saw his mother coming towards him in the previous slide, we observed with a piece of fish in her beak, he jumped with happiness and ran up to the edge of the ledge to get the food. His mother came very near to him, but did not give him the fish. But here, with a loud scream, with a loud scream, the monstrous terror seized him. With a loud scream, he fell downwards and outwards. He was terrified. See, the monstrous terror seized him means he was terrified. That was only for a minute. Then, what did he do? His wings spread outwards and he flapped. He started flying. He was no longer falling but flying downwards. He flapped again. When he thought that he was going down and down, he flapped again, started flying upwards. See how started flying upwards. He gathered courage. He felt that as if he was going to drown in the sea, but he gathered the courage and started flying upwards. He was thrilled. His family encircled him. See, now family comes to celebrate his success. So his family encircled him. They were shrieking with joy. So in the next slide, see, he could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. Here the author has explained how he experienced the first flight. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. He did not turn back. He was soaring, flying upwards, gradually downwards. I told you, I explained to you in the previous slide, gradually downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Since it was a first flight, he felt dizzy. He felt giddiness. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Ga, 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 go, go. Ah. His mother swooped, means flew past. Mother also started flying, encouraging him, her wings making a loud noise. She was so excited to see that her young one started flying. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over, him screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting, means leaping like a horse, and banking, means flying with one wing higher than the other, and soaring and diving. They all, whole family started celebrating the success of a young seagull flying. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and commended, praised himself to dive and soar, means fly and curve, shrieking shrilly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, with little ridges, mountain, that is mountain ridges, moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed, means made a cackling sound, amusedly, happily. So here we understand from the previous slides, we understood that maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish, and with a loud scream, he fell up, outwards and downwards. Here we see the seagull completely forgot that he was not able to fly, and he let himself free to dive, soar and curve at will, started flying, facing straight over the ocean, and even he started seeing a vast green sea beneath him. He was shrieking shrilly, he saw a green sea beneath him. His parents, his brothers and sister were beckoning him, calling him to him, calling shrilly. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning him to him, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea, to rise again, flapping his wings. So even his brothers and sister flew past to him, and they started motivating him, at the same time celebrated, commended, praised him, praised him for his success, for his first flight. Here, the family stands with the young seagull because the family wanted the same glory, the same success of the young seagull flying for the first time. But he was tired and weak with hunger and could not rise, exhausted by the strange exercise. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. So, here we observe that for half an hour he enjoyed flying, he forgot about his hunger. Then his family invited him to land on the sea. As his feet went into the sea, he thought he was sinking. Then his breast touched water, and he started floating. He was no more afraid to fly or float. He had made his first flight. Here we observe that he was tired and weak with hunger. His feet sank into the green sea, and his belly touched it. He sank no further. His family was praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of fish. Now they are offering the scraps of dogfish because they finally succeeded in making the young seagull fly. Forgetting all his worries, all his fear, hesitation, now the whole family praises him and awards him by giving or offering him scraps of dogfish. Earlier we observed that even mother was not willing to feed its young seagull. Now we find that the whole family is offering him scraps of dogfish because he had made his first flight. So, dear students, before I wind up the session, we shall recall what we discussed in this session. So, in spite of constant encouragement and motivations, the young seagull couldn't muster the courage to fly. He was certain that his wings would not support him. He faced regular taunting and humiliations of his family. They even threatened to let him starve at the ledge unless he flew away. But they say that necessity is the mother of invention. Maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish which his mother was carrying in her beak. He felt his wings spreading outwards. Finally, he sought to come down over the sea. When he floated on the sea, his family celebrated his success by offering him pieces of fish to him. So, here we conclude the first part of two stories about flying. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubt, please make a note of it. We shall rectify it during our online classes. Thank you for watching.